My name is David Bolser. I'm one of the producers of the documentary that you're about to see, and I'm here with Patrick Omonde, who is an organizational leadership and management educationist. Patrick is also a licensed church minister responsible for missions with the Mennonite Church in Kenya. Patrick and I met here in Winnipeg, Canada, where our paths crossed. Patrick is currently residing here with his family, and I count it such a privilege to have met Patrick in that our stories have come together. Patrick, one of the people that you've met, one of the organizations that you've become familiar with while you've been here in Winnipeg is Canadian Peacemakers International, and in particular, Dave Hubert, who's the founder and executive director of this organization. He's invited you and others to consider this remarkable vision of peace building through education in sub-Saharan Africa. So my question for you, Patrick, is what do you make of this vision? You've lived the reality of Africa in many places, you've lived on the ground, and you have a vision for transforming communities.
David, it has worked in rural Honduras. Can it work in Africa? That was my question as I watched the documentary Computer Assisted Learning, a Honduran success story. Today, we are facing many challenges in our communities with poverty, violence, lack of employment. We are wondering, can visionary leaders with the support of local churches and government leaders make a tangible difference in these circumstances? Could it be that peace building through education is a possible means to restoring hope in our communities?
Patrick, as you know, CPI is an organization started by Mennonite churches in Edmonton, Canada, that went to Honduras and asked Hondurans how CPI could help. The story we're going to watch next is what's happened in the last 12 years. In my mind, it's a remarkable story of doing a lot with a little.
Watch this story of Honduras. Leaders like you and me decide to make a tremendous effort on behalf of our communities and our countries. Could this story of community transformation be ours to tell as well?
To make the story shorter, I crashed 3 computers. But in reality, that's the nature of learning. And we have the advantage that that's how it is.
This story may begin with a few computers that had to be repaired, but that's definitely not how it ends. In 1999, after the devastation of Hurricane Mitch, Canadian Peacemakers International became active in rural Honduras. Their aim was to come alongside landless people in their struggle to survive. Among so many needs, one continued to surface.
I never thought of completing junior high school. As you know, in our country of Honduras, there are lots of difficulties when it comes to schooling. The majority of youth don't study because they don't have the opportunity. I come from a family of 14 siblings. So for the head of the household, it's very difficult to provide formal education for 14 people without regular employment.
I had a marriage that didn't value that. My husband never valued it. And right from when I was a little girl, my parents always said that education isn't for women. Women are useless when it comes to studies. I had registered at school for the beginning of grade 7, but halfway through the year, I had to drop out because of financial problems.
As CPI became active in Honduras, Executive Director Dave Hubert brought his vast experience in education leadership to the conversation. This experience included being the founder and president of a vocational training college in one of Canada's remote northern regions. The college was designed to give youth technical and vocational skills right in their home community. So Dave took these insights to Honduras. One of the most insistent voices calling for help with schooling was Jose Chepe Vasquez, a respected local leader in Santa Cruz de Yojoa.
They asked, as a Honduran, what would I want as far as activity in Honduras? So, at the time, we were talking about the situation of education, health, and economics in the country. But looking at all those things, we began to think that education is an important issue for the country.
A superintendent of schools here told me once that the dropout rate between grade 6 and grade 7 is over 96%. So clearly that's where the need was, and that's what Chepe wanted to do, so that's where we went.
A key government partner in approving and implementing the program was Dr. Elia del Cid, the Deputy Minister of Education in Honduras.
It interested me, first, because there is a community participation which is very important for sustainability. Second, because they work with a flexible schedule, where the student comes when they are able to get there. A lot of them work, and it's very difficult to attend when there's a fixed schedule. So that's an advantage I saw in the program, along with the opportunity to work with computers, because we know that it develops other abilities on top of the studying. Third, it was a way of reaching people who, if it wasn't for this program, weren't going to have the opportunity to study. Because I could come to study and then leave for work, and there wasn't a problem with that. So I only came 2 hours a day to study. But in those 2 hours, I made a huge effort to complete the lessons quickly and to complete them well.
The computer-assisted learning approach believes that when given the opportunity, people can learn. A traditional school system focuses on teachers teaching. CAL focuses on learners learning. The core technological tool is a hard drive that holds the complete Honduran grade 7 to 9 school curriculum, a library of 500 titles, 2 encyclopedias, dictionaries, and a touch typing program. A significant task of organizers is to convert printed curriculum and other books into a digital format. In essence, there is a complete school on every hard drive. Students work through the curriculum as a self-paced, modular experience. Country Director Manuel Tabora is a visionary for this innovative approach.
It offers videos and virtual instructors explaining the subject matter, which the student repeats several times until they understand the material. This is a very different approach from the regular school system, or what we call the old paradigm. Because in the old paradigm, the student is subjected to the will of the instructor, who teaches what they want, when they want, and in the form that they decide. In our program, the student studies when it's convenient for them. The student doesn't have to search for our program. Our program goes out and finds the student, no matter where they are. It offers help and opens doors for them in a tangible way.
The one issue that we want to preserve in making this program available to others in Honduras and others in other countries is the library, and we want the library to be a peace library. There's way too much war and conflict and bloodshed in the world, and we don't want in any way to valorize the conflict, the generals, the people who kill other people. We want to promote peace, and our library is a very deliberately chosen peace library. So that's one part of the equation that I want to make sure follows this program wherever it goes.
The program is fully credentialed with the Honduran Ministry of Education and adheres strictly to all formal student registration, financial, and administrative guidelines. While technology is key to the computer-assisted learning approach, at the heart of this strategy is a team of visionary local coordinators and facilitators. These are people tenaciously committed to their local communities and the future of their country. Yenny Lopez is a program director that works closely with these local coordinators.
I'm director of the Computer Assisted Learning Program that is delivered across 6 administrative regions of the country in 22 local satellite sites. From 2008 to 2019, we've had a student population of 4,325 people who have enrolled for at least a year. The satellite sites have been established in the different regions of Honduras where we work with various facilitators. When a satellite site wants to implement the program, we equip the facilitators in pedagogy, in technology, and administration so that they have all the resources they need to use the platform. The satellite sites gather all the students that, for various reasons, are not able to attend the normal school. Those students study using our platform, providing them a variety of opportunities, including technology, of course. When a satellite site begins, our leadership team travels to the region to offer training so they can understand the approach and be able to offer education to the youth or adults who enroll for studies.
Every day I feel optimistic about supporting people in this community of Santa Elena. Santa Elena is a community of about 5,000 people. Something that was a real concern for us in the community is that lots of youth were making bad decisions. They were looking for the most practical things. All youth, if they aren't well-oriented, they'll make poor decisions for sure. And we were in the middle of a crisis. 2014 was very difficult here in this community. The local church supported the idea. I had proposed it. The churches in Honduras are small. For example, this one is about 20 members. They said, "This is a magnificent idea, but all we can give is $1,000. But $1,000 here is a lot. In 2015, we began the program with 90 students. And that's a lot. And we only had 6 computers. I divided up the group, and it was interesting how many youth wanted to study. Lots of them were able to complete grade 9. I've never asked for help from any institutions. The only exception is when I asked Manuel to bring the program here, which I understand is part of the formal process. But the rest of the time, I ask God that He would provide everything. And I give testimony that it's on my knees that I've said to God, "Here we are, ready to work with our youth." Part of the success has been the social transformation. Now, it's completely different than before. A lot of parents have talked with us about the changes that they have seen in their children. And that is part of the satisfaction that we feel. It's fascinating, and that's what propels us forward.
A
facilitator is like a volunteer who spends 3 hours helping them with whatever they need, every day from Monday to Friday. I love to serve and to help someone else. People always say, "How much do they pay you to work there?" And I say, nothing. And thanks to God, because He is the one that provides.
The community finds a building, a location. We provide the software platform and train the facilitators. After that, during the year, we visit them, monitoring their progress, and work at providing them with whatever they need to gain confidence in delivering the program.
We met them, and they equipped us to function as instructors when we started. The two of us started teaching together. It was a beautiful experience.
A 2-hour trek off the main highway, winding your way up and down ravines on rocky roads, gets you to the village of Las Delicias and the home of Teresa and Trinidad.
There is a determination, a feeling in us, and that has given us what we need to make it possible. For youth today, it's for those who really want it, and we're there to serve them.
So students have come from all the neighboring communities. It created the need to open up more registration spaces. That led to acquiring the container. It was a very big effort. She and my daughter are facilitators in the program, and Javier, along with my other son, Jairo, are responsible for technical support. Thanks so much to this family, because they collaborated to bring the school here. And the truth is that it is incredibly important because it adapts to the economic problems here in the village. The majority of us live with very few resources. We can't go to a school in another village because it's complicated. And bringing a school here opens a door for us, and it's given us the opportunity to complete junior high school.
I want to be a doctor, and if you want to prosper, you do the impossible.
While sites offering grades 7 to 9 have spread across Honduras, Chepe and his board of directors continue to cast a greater vision.
If the government helps us, supports us, the next proposal is to offer high school. That's where we're going. This is a goal as Hondurans, as people contributing to the education in our country.
A study commissioned by the Honduran government found that using the CAL approach cost less than $100 per student per year. This is an extremely efficient and effective means of delivering education. And the vision is expanding into vocational training. This includes job skills in motorcycle repair, computer science for high school-age students who can't find work. In other words, a site becomes a center for all kinds of local training.
The people use tuk-tuks for everything. They carry a lot of things. It's for many things. And the computers, the computers is the language of the future.
The program adjusts to the reality of our country. And what you need most is a strong will for the program to develop.
When one considers our country, or any other country that wants to take on this model, the reality is that it would be of great benefit for those youth who, for one reason or another, have not been able to continue their education.
Many satellites that we have and the 4,300 students who have completed one grade or more have demonstrated to us unequivocally that the program works.
CPI believes that this proven model of education can be extended into many other rural settings in other parts of the world. Canadian Peacemakers International would like nothing better than to see the United Nations Sustainable Development Goal achieved of making a grade 9 education available to every child in the world. The CAL program is available to all organizations who want to use it.
Being a part of this fabulous program has given me a lot of motivation and a lot of joy in my life. It's an opportunity to help these youth, and I know their stories.
It's been a very unique and special experience because here is where I discovered my spirit. They instilled values of character and ethics in me and equipped me for leadership.
I do it so that my daughter can succeed. And I want my daughter to see that I fought hard and that I kept studying, so that tomorrow they'll say, I started at the bottom, but I made it to the top.
What began with a stack of recycled computers culminates in a community full of hope and a country filled with possibility. The Computer-Assisted Learning Program is a Honduran success story. You are invited to bring this same hope to your community.
We say to the government of whichever country, don't just give opportunity to the high-class urban person. We should give opportunity to those in rural areas, the barefoot ones. Open this window for them. There are talents to be discovered and restored. Go draw out what's hidden inside.
I remember when we started. We started when the children were small, and I would say, I see you in school. I see you in university. So what can we say? Open the doors and don't hesitate. Open the doors and believe that this project does work.
What a privilege it was to be on the ground in Honduras, meeting visionary leaders like Chepe and Manuel and Yenny and Isais, Maria, Trinidad, Teresa, and so many others. Patrick, I wish you could have been there. So my question for you now, Patrick, is what do you think? Is there potential here for you in your context?
David, this program gives me hope that Africa could adapt the computer-assisted learning model to return life-giving education into our communities. When I think of Isaias in Santa Elena, a small village in the mountains of Honduras, whose community was marked by gang violence, whose youth had little hope for a healthy future, and I see how his training center has led to economic opportunities and real peace. So, in a nutshell for me, Carl Center's innovative learning solutions offer an opportunity for communities to instigate the restoration of Africa's value for schools without walls. And I am hopeful. I am very hopeful.
Well, that is very exciting.
CPI is inviting us to consider this model. And I'm now inviting pastors and all cadres of leaders to embrace what is possible in our communities